Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today, the Rhino will be looking at a seasonal offering from the folks at Grand River Brewing. This beer was picked up for me and delivered by the Brothers Brow. It was picked up by one brother, Colgate. It was delivered by Sensodyne. So thank you guys for that. This is Old Defiant Old Ale from Grand River Brewing. So there we go. Now, I did talk on camera on Beer Dudes United about how these labels are a lot more, well, a big step forward from what the Grand River Brewing labels were before, because we were talking about a few different breweries and what type of labels they had and all that, and there was a comment about how if I thought this was a better label, then my eyes are worse than they thought. But yeah, that may be, but it is a much better label than here's beige over here, and then here's a colored V that goes across it, and that's my label. That's basically what their label was. Not saying that these are good labels, just a much better label than what they were. So this old ale is 7% alcohol by volume. I'm just looking if there's anything else on here. Bottled on January, I think that's 6th, or maybe 26th. Their labeler, it's not that you can't see it. You can see the January perfectly well, and you can see the 2015 perfectly well, but the day stamp is not a very good stamp. That's a 6 for sure, but I can't tell if that's a 0 or not. Anyway, ingredients: water, barley malt, hops. Oh, no yeast. I always was curious about that, right? So when they're putting their label ingredients on, a lot of brewers will say yeast on there, and a lot of them won't. If you add a yeast, isn't it a requirement if you're going to put ingredients on it? You have to say that? What if somebody had a yeast allergy? Well, why are they drinking beer? Because they're stupid and they didn't know there was yeast in the beer. I mean, you have to put notices on things that hot coffee's hot, or don't drop the toilet seat on your penis. Why don't you have to write yeast in your beer? And with everything else we have, plug the phone in, put the batteries in, all the other stupid instructions we have, and the fact that we have to act like everybody's stupid, why don't we have all ingredients on all things we consume? Okay. Board. That is a nice looking beer. That is like ruby red, kind of in that, well, maybe amber. I mean, it does have a slight orangey hue, but it's very reddish. Head, one finger ahead, nice little off-white, a little bit of a snap crackle pop. Tiny bit of beer left in here. We'll just get her into the glass. Yeah, that's a beautiful little beer. The scent on this is a nice little smell. A lot of I didn't know what to think about this beer. I've had a lot of beers from Grand River. I know there are people that love Grand River, that are huge with them. I started drinking Grand River stuff around the same time they came out. I've had a lot of bad experiences. I've had some meh beers. I've had two or three good beers, a bunch of meh beers, and a bunch of beers I wouldn't want to drink again. Not to say that's the way they all are now, but after you realize just how big of a market the beer market is, even in Ontario, once you've had some really bad experiences, you don't usually go back to try them again. And I haven't. There's just too many new things for me to try. This, however, does not have that buttery smell that a lot of them did when I first started drinking this. I don't know if it was a consistency problem, or if it was supposed to be there, or if they had a new brewer. Anytime I asked questions about it, I wouldn't get answered. So I don't know if that was meant to be there, or if it was a fault, or, well, it's a fault, but I don't know if it was there to be there or not. But yeah, it's a nice smell, a nice little, just a malty, caramelly, toffee-like smell. It has almost a candy sugar-like scent to it as well, which is awesome. Guess it's time to give this beer here a shot, eh? Cheers, guys. A little bit of sweet malt, a little bit of caramel up at the forefront. Middle, slight little bit of candiness, and biscuity, biscuity yeastiness. Um, Slightly dirty and a slightly piney hoppiness. So up front, kind of reminds me of a red ale. In the back, kind of reminds me of an English pale ale. Altogether, yeah, it kind of fits into the old ale category, and it's 7% alcohol. This is probably a good standard explanation of the beer. A nice little showing of what a old ale is supposed to be. Is it spectacular? No, but I mean, I have had so many old ales from spectacular breweries, or hyped up old ales, or barrel aged old ales, that just a standard old ale is now something that is hard to wow me with. But does that change the fact that this is a solid beer? No, this is a solid beer from a brewery that I wasn't 100% sure what it would be like from. So, awesome work on your solid beer on this. Like I said, all their beers may be solid now. They may have changed brewmasters, they may have changed techniques, they may have worked out kinks, they may have better filtration so the beers don't turn on the shelves at the LCBO, because that may have been the problem too. But all in all, it's a solid beer from a brewery that I don't normally expect solidness from. I normally expect a little bit below solidness. And again, it's not a ding on them, it's that I won't go back and buy the same beer twice if it didn't wow me. And they didn't wow me. This beer though does kind of wow me. I mean, it's reminding me, like I said, of like an Irish red mixed with a English pale, or a English barley wine even. It kind of has that nice forefront, or nice malty forefront. Not as malty as an English barley wine would be up at the forefront, but it kind of those flavors, and then your English background. It's very warming though too. It's surprisingly warming. Be a great winter warmer. You're outside shoveling. You're outside scraping ice. You're doing whatever you have to do. This would be a great warmer beer to have with you too. Out of 10, I'm going to give it a solid 7. There's nothing I can complain about with this beer. It's a solid little beer. And that's all I have for you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.